Every soul carries a secret, even from itself. Here, its true name is kept. Welcome to LibCurio, Library of Curiosity. Now tread softly and the chapter begins. A faint scraping echoes beneath the walls of your skull like iron on stone. The air tastes of burnt parchment and rain-slicked asphalt. A flicker in the corner of your vision, a silhouette that breathes when you do not. Shadows twitch in the wrong rhythm, and the floor hums with a pulse that doesn't belong to you. You touch your reflection. It blinks before you, a heartbeat late. Something in the light vibrates against memory, distorting it into shapes that should not exist. You watch yourself from the edges of your own perception, a spectator trapped in the auditorium of your skin. The mask you crafted, polished, deliberate, luminous, and social light, now presses against your bones like a second skeleton. You speak, and the words belong to someone else. The syllables echo unfamiliar, as if your tongue has learned a language only the world can hear. Heraclitus whispers from a corner of the room, "You cannot step into the same river twice, but this is no river. It is a flood of masks, each layer heavier, each reflection a betrayal of the one who once named himself." You remember a mirror in a hallway long demolished. You had laughed, believing the reflection to be you. The man inside had not yet learned the art of adaptation, the silent compromise that folds your truth into a neat origami of social expectation. Neuroscientists would call it the narrative self, a constructive memory, attention and desire, but the terminology offers no comfort. You feel the fracture between your lived interior and the projected exterior as a physical ache, a hollow clanging in your chest. Every encounter becomes an audition, every smile a rehearsed ritual. And yet the mask grows, slowly with a life independent of your own. It learns, adapts, anticipates. In quiet moments, when the world sleeps, you hear it breathing behind your ribs, waiting, watching. Descartes might tell you, doubt everything, and you will find certainty only in thought. But thought itself has split. One half belongs to you. The other has already been claimed by the persona. You touch your face. Fingers meet flesh, but the eyes staring back do not know you. The room shifts. The hum beneath your feet becomes a voice, repeating a phrase you cannot catch. Only feel. Who are you when the mask no longer remembers the man it hides? The mask whispers in the silence, and you realize grief has a taste, copper, like blood left to rust in an empty vessel. You feel the hollow of your own throat as if swallowing yourself were possible, and the echo refuses to dissipate. Every mirror, every camera, every passing glance is a betrayal and a confession all at once. The persona smiles while the man inside trembles. You cannot distinguish between them anymore. One siphons life from the other until both are indistinguishable shadows. You remember the first time you performed joy. The laughter was borrowed, stitched from fragments of other people's stories. It felt like breathing someone else's air, familiar yet toxic. Psychology calls it adaptive behavior, a social lubricant. Philosophy calls it deception, a betrayal of the soul. You call it survival, but survival tastes like dust in your mouth, and you begin to notice every interaction is a transaction between masks, a marketplace of illusions where authenticity is outlawed. A letter arrives in the shape of a sigh, curling against your ear as you lie awake. You are not what you appear to be, it says, in the language of dripping faucets and trembling shadows. You feel exposed. not to the world, but to yourself. The person who once believed he was the center of his own story has been exiled. What remains is a fractured consciousness, a ghost inhabiting the husk of its own performance. You walk the streets, but the city is unfamiliar. Faces peer at you, and you imagine the mask has taken residence in each one, replicating itself, multiplying. Every reflection you pass is a reminder. The persona does not only hide, it grows, it learns, it consumes. And somewhere deep beneath the ribs, the real you clings to a whisper, fragile, urgent. Remember me. The paradox blooms. You are both spectator and spectacle, prisoner and jailer. Memory becomes unreliable, emotion performative. Even grief, the most intimate, the most human, is filtered through the mask, turning agony into theater, sorrow into ornamentation. And yet, amidst the cacophony, there is a flicker, a pulse of raw, unmediated being that refuses to bow. The persona can mimic it, distort it, even suppress it, but it cannot extinguish the quiet spark of self that waits, trembling for recognition. You feel the weight of the unseen audience pressing against your ribs. The mask smiles knowingly, and in that smile, you recognize a truth both terrifying and exquisite. The persona has outgrown the person, and yet the person's shadow still whispers in the corridors of your chest, a soft rebellion against erasure. The mask has walked ahead, leaving footprints you cannot follow. Each step forks into 1,000 possibilities, a labyrinth of faces, gestures, and half-truths. You reach for one, and it vanishes into another, an echo of an echo, a shadow of what might have been. Choices unfold like fractured mirrors, reflecting not the self, but the self as the world demands it be. Time stretches, elastic and untrustworthy. You remember being someone once, and you do not know if that someone is you, or merely a hypothesis your mind repeats to soothe the ache of absence. The mask offers comfort in its perfection, but you can feel the cost. Each concession to it is a theft of memory, a surrender of the pulse beneath the ribs. You wonder if you will ever step outside the cadence of imitation, if the river of persona will allow you to reclaim your own current. Voices whisper in alleys that have no names, offering futures you cannot reach. Some are luminous, others shadowed, all uncertain. You sense that every fork is already claimed by the mask, and yet within the tiny fissures of perception, the man you once were lingers, invisible but insistent. He waits not for recognition, but for permission to breathe, to name himself again. You feel the city, the mirrors, the echoes of yourself, folding into infinity. One choice, one hesitation, could dissolve the boundary between mask and man, or sink you deeper into the labyrinth. And yet, even as the persona stretches beyond your grasp, you know something essential remains. The spark beneath the mask's shadow, the quiet pulse that has always whispered, even when unobserved. The paths extend endlessly, branching, folding, recombining, and in that endlessness, a single certainty flickers, not clarity, not resolution, but presence. The mask waits. The man waits. And somewhere between them, you breathe, the first and last witness of your own becoming. You exhale. The world softens. Shadows retreat from the corners of your chest. No masks linger here, no audience presses, no expectations clutch at your skin. You sit in the quiet of your own bones, listening to the faint pulse of a self-remembered. It is fragile, perhaps fleeting, but undeniably yours. The mask will return inevitably, but for now, there is only the warm, uneven rhythm of your own heartbeat. And it is enough. If this spoke to you, wander deeper into the Library of Curiosity playlist. Each voice adds to the conversation. Each question deepens the paradox we share. Subscribe, and until next time, stay curious, stay unsettled. LibCurio never closes. And the next chapter already waits.